Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shasheena Rolle. As always, it is so great to have you with us. The Grand Bahama Island Tourism Board is cautious about the state of the industry. While Grand Bahama was able to sustain the level of business in 2012, the board leader says any future growth will hinge on the pending developments on the Lucaya Strip. Acting chairman of the Grand Bahama Tourism Board says there has been a slight increase in occupancy for members of the tourism board last year. The numbers, he notes, jumped from 46.2% in 2011 to 49.9% in 2012, totaling just a $200,000 difference for these destinations. He says that is a stark difference from the tourism's glory days back in 2006.
If you go back in Grand Bahama and we talk about the period after the hurricanes 2004, starting in 2005, which really was the new Grand Bahama after the Princess or Royal Oasis was closed. The best year we had, I believe, was 2006. And then we had a total room revenue for the destination of 49 million. This year we made just 19.5, so we were down about 30 million, which is about 60% that we are down from those days.
Back in October, the Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Perry Christie, and the Minister for Tourism, Obi Welshcombe, announced that a Canadian company, the Sun Wing Travel Group, will lease the Reef Village Hotel at the Grand Lucayan Resort. Alnebeck says the tourism economy is uncertain at this point until further details are provided and the project is finalized. He says this could be the starting point for a turnaround.
Before we find that out, it's very difficult to know what 2013 is going to look like. I hope that we will see airlift from new cities. I hope we will see direct airlift. I hope we will see a product that is out there and is being actively marketed in our key destinations, and that will drive more people here.
But as for now, Alnebeck says this island continues to struggle with two major challenges.
We have very little airlift coming to Grand Bahama, and number two, the airlift we have is just too expensive. And I think we need to look at attracting airlift from cities in the US to Grand Bahama where we can be competitive. And that means that I think we need to go back to what has worked in the past, which are these secondary cities that we can do direct airlift from, that in the days of the Princess worked very well when Laker was doing airlift straight into Grand Bahama from those secondary cities. And then I think we have to look at the product. I think we all have to realize that our product is starting to get a bit dated, and we need to look at what does people want to do when they come here.
Alnebeck believes that Grand Bahama's location and beautiful beaches still sets this island apart from all others in the region, and he is optimistic that the island will rebound soon. The College of the Bahamas engaging in an aggressive public consultative process as they work toward university status. Members of the college's University Transition Secretariat have been traveling throughout the country to gauge public opinion. Last night, the team visited Grand Bahama. Natalie Martinborough has the story.
A small but vocal group assembled at the Bishop Michael Eldon Auditorium to give their views on the way forward for the college. Part of the goal of the Secretariat is to envision the character of the University of the Bahamas and draft a roadmap to get there. Community Relations Attaché Quincy Parker says consultation is key to the process.
We've been to all of the major islands to talk to everyone in the community with an opinion, people who wanted to participate in the process, to ask people what they want to see in what is essentially their university. The goal is to not build a University of Nassau or a University of New Providence, but a true University of the Bahamas that's reflective and representative of the hopes and dreams of the Bahamian population at large, of everybody everywhere in the country, as opposed to just a small group of people in Nassau.
Parker says Grand Bahamians are very specific with their recommendations.
They want, firstly, an expansion of the Northern Bahamas campus, which, considering that it sits on 50 acres and has access to 200 more acres, is a fairly good bet. They also are focusing on things like making sure that access to the university is ensured, that that Grand Bahamians are not. One of the people in the town meeting tonight used the word disenfranchised. He sees, and the others as well, see the presence of the University of the Bahamas, and particularly the campus here in the northern Bahamas, as a way of protecting the enfranchisement of his children, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
The Secretariat hopes that by the end of summer, they will be able to hand over the roadmap to the Council to complete the work by 2015.
Our belief and our commitment is that by July of 2015, the University of the Bahamas will be a fact, a reality, something that we could all go into as opposed to think about. And it's not just going to be a name change. It's not just going to be sticking up a new sign. It'll be new legislation. It'll be policy directives governing research, governing higher education. It'll be new international relationships. It'll mean more degrees in different areas. It'll mean something. It won't just be a change in the name.
Natalie Martinborough, ZNS Network News.
A young man was killed overnight in a traffic accident in the 8 Mile Walk area. According to police, officers of the 8 Mile Walk Division were notified of the fatal accident at Freddie Corner, Hannah Hill, 8 Mile Walk, shortly before 4 o'clock this morning. Police Liaison Officer Inspector Teresita Pinder picks up this story from here.
On arrival at the scene, they met a 2001 green Mercury Sabre that had struck a wall, and they also met a male clad in dark clothing lying on the streets just outside the vehicle, facing a southern direction. Upon further inspection of the male, the officers found a .22 caliber handgun. EMS personnel arrived at the scene, and the male suspect was pronounced dead shortly thereafter.
Now, police have confirmed that the car involved was reportedly stolen a short time before the deadly accident. Investigations are continuing into this matter. Police making another appeal for information on the whereabouts of Garen Lucan Gibson of Jonestown 8 Mile Walk. He is wanted for threats of death and possession of an unlicensed firearm. Gibson is of dark brown complexion, about 150 to 180 pounds, brown eyes, about 6 feet tall, with a scar under his right eye. Gibson is a gardener by profession. Police say he is considered armed and extremely dangerous and should be approached with caution. If you have any information on the whereabouts of Garen Lucan Gibson, you know the drill. Contact the police at 352-1919, 348-3445, or 911. A Bimini man was hauled before the court in Freeport today for making threats of death to police officers. 47-year-old Ednal Harris, a.k.a. Noah of Baileytown, Bimini appeared before Magistrate Helen Jones on 4 counts of threats of death. It is reported that sometime between November 9, 2012 and January 9, 2013, he made threats towards 2 police officers while in the area of the Bimini Police Station. Harris pleaded not guilty to all charges and was remanded to Her Majesty's Prison until April 2nd for trial. Stay with us, there's more news right after this.